welcome to bstamilacademy YouTube channel. Today we are going to see about 6th standard science second term unit 6 human organ system. இன்னைக்கு தான் நம்ம வீடியோவை ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் பார்க்குறீங்கன்னா மறக்காமல் சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிடுங்க, பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிற பெல் ஐக்கானையும் கிளிக் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. அப்போ தான் நாங்கள் போடுற வீடியோக்கள் உங்களுக்கு உடனுக்குடன் வந்து சேரும். வாங்க இன்றைய வீடியோக்குள்ளே போகலாம். Now we are going to see about Unit 6 Human Organ System. What is meant by organ? Organ is a part. In our lower class we were study the parts of our body. Here the organ is mentioned as part. And then what is meant by organ system? Organ system mean group of organs involved in some process. That's called as organ system. In our body, we can see the many types of organ systems. Now, in this book, there were only 8 systems were given. That all skeletal system, muscular system, digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, nerve system, endocrine system, excretory system. These systems are given in this book, and we can go into the lesson. First, skeletal system. Skeletal system is a system that connects the bones, cartilages and joints. The bones or create the structure to our body and make a frame to our body. This helping for a many movement in our body like walking, running, chewing, dancing, singing, many works. In adult human skeletal system, there were 206 bones and few cartilages and ligaments and tendons. In a newborn baby, we can see the 300 bones in the body and where the many cartilages, ligaments and tendons. Ligaments help in connecting bone to bone. Tendons helping to connecting bone to muscle. The two major division of the system are axial skeletal system and appendicular skeletal system. First we can see the appendicular skeletal system. Appendicular skeletal system not by the 4 limbs, the 2 hands and the two legs. We can see now the axial skeletal system. Axial skeletal system is included as the 3 parts that are skull, vertebral column and rib cage. Now we can see the part skull. Skull is made up of the carnical bones and the phalangeal bones. It protects brain structure of our face. In the skull, we can see the skull here. In the lower jaw only movement. In our body, only lower jaw only movement. Here the lower jaw. The all parts are in hard place. That's where inside the skull is having, and the skull is protect our important part, brain. Next, vertebral column. It's known as backbone. Backbone is a main bone in our body. It protects the spinal cord and it helps to bend and structure our body. And rib cage. Rib cage is some tissue is protect our lungs and hearts, and this have the 12 pairs of curved flat rib bones. The 12 pairs we can see the 24 bones, and it protect the hearts and lungs. And the limbs we can see first itself, man has 2 pairs of limbs, namely upper limbs and lower limbs. We can see the skeletal system diagram here. We can see the all types of bones: skull, spinal column, ribs, unel, previs. The all type of the bones are here. Next, muscular system. Muscular system is we have see in our body parts, in all the parts we can see, in our hand, in our leg, in our all of the parts in our body. It helps to moving other parts and do some work in our posture in the body position. There are 3 types of muscles, namely skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, cardiac muscle. First we can see that these are the muscles are here. Okay. First we can see the skeletal muscle of our body are attached to the bones, or they are called voluntary muscles. The skeletal muscles are another name was voluntary muscle. What is meant by voluntary muscle? Voluntary muscle is the muscle we can control that. In our hand we don't do any We didn't do any work means the hand also taking rest, that the muscle also taking rest. And we can do something or we can lift something means our body also doing some work and that muscle also doing some work. So we can control the type of muscles that were attached to the bones. So we can control that. For example, muscles of form is in our book they were giving. We can see that this is the tendon is was connected to the bone. This is a bone tendon using the muscles are having. We can see that, and the blood vessels are also involving in the muscles. We can see it clearly. Smooth muscles. What's meant by smooth muscles? Smooth muscles are having with the digestive tract, urinary bladder, and the arteries and the other internal organs. In the internal organs, we can see the smooth muscles. These muscles are called as involuntary muscles. And then what is meant by involuntary muscles? That means we can't control the muscles. You can go and say to the stomach, stop the digestive means it will stop. No. We can go to the heart and we can see stop pumping the blood. Like that we tell means it will stop. No. So we can't control that. It can do that jobs. We can't control that part means this was prepared in the involuntary muscles. So we can see in the book they are also giving. It's called involuntary muscles because they are not controlled by our will. Okay. The stomach has involuntary muscles, and we can see that these muscles are so soft like that. And cardiac muscles. What's meant by cardiac muscles? In science, cardiac means heart. This type of cardiac muscles are also rhythmic construction, constitutively and involuntary in nature. This was definition given to the cardiac muscle. It's for only present in our heart. Next, digestive system. Digestive system is a process that we eating the food, that food were digested to our body and we can release to the motion. The parts of the digestive systems are the digestive system were divided: alimentary canal and associated glands. The parts are separating and the glands are separating. In the glands we can say the surapi. That means something it's create the liquid chemicals. That's why we can tell it as a glands. Now we can see the parts of alimentary canal: mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, and esophagus or food pipe. Now here the food pipe has specific word as esophagus, and then stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, anus. But here the anus only giving. In our diagram we can see the rectum. Okay, and associated glands of digestion is salivary glands, gastric glands, liver, pancreas, and intestinal glands. These were the associated glands in our digestion. Digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal or salivary glands, liver, pancreas, and the secreted zymus which help to the process of the digestion. Food in the digestive tract or alimentary canal. Okay, here they were given that the parts are also doing the work properly. This helping this type of glands. For mouth, now we can see the functions of the alimentary canal parts. The mouth is a semi-stomach that have create the digestion easily. We can chew the food means it will create the digestion easily. Buccal cavity. Buccal cavity is known as the tooth only, and it will help for salivary glands. We can see the associated glands in digestion. Salivary glands will help for buccal cavity. Pharynx is a pipe-like. It's a connection to our throat and the esophagus. It's a connection part like 3 or 4 centimeter area. It's a pharynx we can call it. And esophagus a food pipe. It will into in our chest region, center of our chest region. And stomach, the food pipe is reached to the stomach. The stomach will grind the food too smoothly, and it will give to the, and its stomach is help for the liver, and pancreas will help for the stomach, and the food pipe, the esophagus, the gastric glands for helping. And the stomach is grinded the foods with the help of pancreas and liver and give to the small intestine, and the intestinal glands are doing the work that the intestine. The small intestine, the name is only small intestine, but in our body this is only bigger. And this small intestine, there were one intestinal glands. It will create some liquids, so chemicals, and that it will create the solid part separately and the liquid part separately. Solid parts are give to the large intestine. Liquid part were released into the blood, and the solid part were given to the large intestine. Large intestine also move that and give to the rectum. Until the rectum is filled, and we know that we have to pass the motion and we have to pass. That's open called anus. These 5 glands are helping to these 8 parts, and we can see in the diagram itself. We can see that in this mouth, it means the green is salivary glands and the red is buccal cavity. And here the liver is mentioned. The center red color pipe is esophagus, and the liver and the stomach were grinding. And this yellow is pancreas, and the yellow is and down yellow is small intestine. This has industrial glands. It separate the solid and liquid, and the liquid item which give to the blood, and solid item is give to the large intestine with this connection, and then come to the rectum. Until the rectum fill, the anus will release that. This or the diagrams we can see is easily, and we can easily understand that. Next, respiratory system. Respiratory system is a small system in our body, and it were doing the main source of our body. It contains many parts like nostrils, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchi, and lungs. It helps to movement of the air out of the body, exchange of O2 or CO2, that means oxygen or carbon dioxide. Cause of the between air in the lungs and the blood, and the entry of the food into the windpipe, and it's prevented by the flap-like structure called epiglottis. This tissue, the flap-like tissue structure, it will stop the food into the respiratory pipe. That's why. And the lungs definitions were giving. The lungs is a main respiratory organ in our body, are located in chest cavity, and the trachea, commonly called windpipe, is tube supported to the all type of our body. It's main thing that we have to connect to our nose and to the lungs, so it's a main part. And the pharynx and larynx are the voice box. Larynx is a voice box, and the pharynx is a connection of our nasal cavity. Trachea, the trachea and the pharynx were connected into our throat region, and the larynx or voice box, and the lungs are doing the jobs. Passage of air. This job is going on to the lungs. Here we can see the diagram. In our diagram, in the nearby of nose, the white or nasal cavity, it's also like some glands, but it creating some. It's help to our nostrils. Nostrils means the hole in our nose. It's help to that. And we can see that the pharynx, voice box, and the larynx, it's connect to trachea, and it come down to the lungs, and the center and some left part to the heart is located in the lungs. And we can see that the 2 lungs in our body, and the bronchus is a 2 divider part to the 2 lungs, and we can see that the small holes like olive oil, this have into the oxygen, means it release the carbon dioxide in the body. And this is the diaphragm. This is the air space. The lungs can flow down easily, so this air space will save the lungs and keep the heart in it, and this properly. And we can study it in the skeletal system. The rib cage is protect this, and appearance this, the rib cage is also covered. Okay, today we can see that many types of system, and now the respiratory organs are given here. When we inhale, where does air go? That means we have inhaled the oxygen, means there were many ways to get inside. Nostrils is a hole in the mouth, and nasal cavity helps to the nose to breathe in, and the pharynx is a connect to trachea, and the larynx is a voice box, and trachea is a windpipe, and the bronchus is a 2 dividers of the lungs, and broccoli is in the inside winds, and the olive oils are the blocks that inside the oxygen and exhale the carbon dioxide. Friends, now we recall the skeletal system. all the systems in our body. Skeletal system contains the bones, cartilages, joints, and all. And the ligaments helping to connect the bone to bone, and the tendon connect the bone to muscle. And the adult human skeletal have 206 bones and the few cartilages, and the newborn baby have 300 bones and many cartilages. And the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton were two types of divide. The appendicular was not four limbs only, the four limbs and the hind limbs. And what's in the axle? Axle had three parts: that skull, vertebral column, rib cage. And the skull is protect our brain, and it have the many bones, and we're having the only movement of the skull is our lower jaw only. And next we can see the vertebral column is it's known as the backbone. It protects spinal cord, and it only single bone into the hip region to our brain. And the rib cage have the 12 pair of curved flat rib bones. It protects the heart and lungs. It has a many, it likes a tissue helping that, but it's too strong in our body. We can see the skeletal systems all in here. And muscular system muscular system have three types of muscles: skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, cardiac muscle. Skeletal muscle, or we can control that, so it's called as voluntary muscle. For example, muscles of arm. And the smooth muscles called involuntary muscles, because we can't control that. It is the internal organs muscle. Wherein the cardiac means heart meaning. So heart have only this type of muscles, it's too special. It's also like this involuntary muscles, it's too special for the heart. And we can see our muscles in our body. Digestive system, there was two type of digestive system: alimentary canal and associated glands. For our digestion, these 8 parts, these 5 glands for helping to complete one digestion. The alimentary canal is 9 centimeter long. Stomach is a major organ for the digestion for the food materials, absorption of the digest food across in the small intestine. So there were 9 meters, about 9 meters long of the alimentary canal. It's too length for that. And we can see the diagram of digestive system. And the main is the liver is not a part, is a gland, is a main thing for us. And respiratory system has, we can see here, nostrils, nasal cavity, larynx, trachea, bronchus, bronchioles, and alveoli. These types of parts are having in our respiratory system, and the many parts are here. And the pharynx was a connection of trachea to larynx, and larynx is a voice box. And there were many processes in our body. And the alveoli is a main part that we are take the oxygen and they give to the carbon dioxide. No, this is the main activity. Okay friends, we will see the part 2 in next video. Bye.